I just want to talk about the importance of teams and the significance of having some sort of team mantra. Now, the reason I'm prompted to do this is that I was working with a leadership team recently, and I was saying to them, look, it was a relatively new team. There've been some big changes in the organization. This is a very big, well-known brand in the UK. I was invited to go and do this development day for them. There had been a change of ownership, and there was quite a bit of disturbance at the top end of the organisation. Naturally, people were feeling a little bit fractious, a little bit worried, a bit anxiousness about what was going to happen to them. A few people had been left, people had been replaced, etc. And I was saying to them how important it is that at this time, at any one period in time, that you have a team kind of ways of working, team mantra, a set of principles that become a guide for you as you navigate yourself through a potentially difficult, turbulent time. And those are slightly different to what we might see as organizational values. And my always challenges the organizational values, they're so generalistic that they don't necessarily speak to the importance of the particular behaviors that team needs at that time. So I'm a very strong advocate of helping a team saying, right, what is it right here, right now, that you need to be focusing on, that if you all subscribe to these particular behaviors and values, would help you see your way through the next 6 months to a year. And asking those questions and generating a list of things, talking about what's worked in the past, and what do they think will work now. What you end up with is maybe 5 or 6 different phrases, sentences, etc., that speak to the importance of the situation they're in at that time. And I'm not discarding the company values, by the way, for 1 minute. And it actually can just be for that particular team. So it's very, very powerful. And this one particular organization did a great job in coming up with 3 or 4 different things. One of them, I'm just looking at a piece of paper here, and I really like this phrase they came up with. It's called "leave it on the wave behind." Now, there's a lot in that sentence, and it's all about saying, look, when things go wrong, as they inevitably will, or there is some disagreement, let's not go on about it. Let's not keep bringing it up. Let's not go into this blame cycle. Let's leave it on the wave behind. Let's take the learnings from it, absolutely, but put our energy into the future. Another team I was working with came up with this phrase, "go ugly early," which I thought was a great phrase as well. It's all about saying, look, when there are difficulties and issues, let's not leave it until we're literally wanting to take chunks out of each other. If there is some problem or difficulty, let's have the bravery and the honesty to speak to that truth immediately, rather than it festering and becoming a much bigger thing in the future. But whatever it is, come up with 5 or 6 different statements. And I'm not talking about just going, trust each other, or whilst that is good, it's just so vanilla. It doesn't mean anything. It's got, be a great team member. What does that say? It doesn't really tell you anything useful. So try and go beyond the obvious stated things like honesty, integrity, and things like that, to something that becomes a phrase or a mantra that speaks volumes beyond that sentence itself. And then you teach that to new joiners to the team. They say, look, we have these 5 ways of working, and these ways of working is how we operate as a team. You teach that to them, you police against it, you talk about them. You don't just stick them on a wall or post them out on a PowerPoint. I mean, you use them all the time. You use them in your monthly meetings, in your interactions with people. You call them out when people are doing them. You call out when they're not. And then they become real, authentic, meaningful, and useful. And they will allow your team to be able to perform much better based on what the situation they're in right at this particular time. So hope you found that useful. It certainly worked for me and my clients several times. So go do it. It works.